Hello and welcome to AstroChiron, the video companion for AstroChiron.com. You'll hear more about my website in the mid-video ad break, but until then, what you thinking about? I obviously can't hear your response, but let me know in the comments. I ask because the third house rules your mental processing as well as your communication. Your natal chart is a snapshot of your entire life, but up until now, we've only been looking at signs and how they shape your personality. This series serves to teach you about each of the 12 houses, each representing different areas of your life, and this week's house is the house of sharing. The third house is known as fratres in Latin, or brothers. This comes from this house is tied to immediate community. Verbal communication comes up in this house as well, both spoken and written. Are you well spoken or do you speak on instinct? Can you convey your thoughts with your voice or are you better understood on page? In fact, all mental pursuits are ruled by this house, including the things you learn in school, the skills you pick up to live your everyday life, and the things you like to take on in your own time. Going back to the Latin name of this house, fratres, siblings are also ruled in this house, as are the other environs of your childhood. Since this house opposes the ninth house, which talks of travel abroad, the third house tells us of local travel, like your daily drive to work or your weekly trip to the grocery store. And since we're talking about habit and familiarity, there's no wonder why the moon takes joy in this house. These comfortable surroundings allow for the moon to express herself without any qualms. Here, she allows you to communicate your inner feelings to those around you. This placement also gives your messages heart, adding more pathos to your logos. This house is ruled by Mercury, whose focus on written, spoken communication sparkles in this house. This is also noted in Gemini, whose tie to intelligence and primary learning links her to the third house. A stellium in this house would indicate a person who is strong in their ability to communicate and may even do so for a living, or as their life's purpose. Charles Lindbergh, for example, was a famed aviator and author. He was the first person to make a non-stop transatlantic flight from New York City to Paris. Yes, that's abroad, but it shows his link to the progression of transportation, a tenet which is covered by this house. Charles has a Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter in his third house. When we get back from our ad break, we'll look at what each planet's effect on the third house is and what that means for you. This video is brought to you by me. I am the astrologer behind AstroChiron.com, the one-stop shop for all astrological readings, articles, horoscopes, and art. I have a free ask feature that you can use for quick questions that I will respond to via a blog post. Readings range from $25 to $200, whether you want 3 questions answered in detail all the way to a thorough hour-long or more reading from me personally, via phone or video chat, discussing your entire natal chart, the aspects within it, and each planet's placement. Comment below to see if you're eligible for a 40% off discount. Again, that's astrochiron.com, ASTRO-CHIRON.com. Don't forget the hyphen and join our community today. With the sun in the third house, you're talkative and childlike by nature. Perhaps this stems from how quite self-interested you are in your thinking, as children are more likely to be self-interested and talkative. Otherwise, you're quite the creative thinker or writer, as the sun is the planet of creation. This can be seen in Stephen King, who has written nearly 70 pieces of literature, and Biggie Smalls, who wrote all the lyrics he performed. Then you have Drake, who, well, yeah, he didn't write all of his music, but he did begin his rise to fame as an actor, one who had to hold space for that creative energy in his mind while in character. Then we get to the moon in the third house, which we've already touched on as the moon's joy. Examples of this placement can be seen in Mariah Carey, the singer-songwriter whose emotions ooze out of every word she writes. Then we have equally outspoken Jenna Ortega and Paris Jackson, the former who is an activist and the latter who is outspoken about her father's legacy. Mercury's placement in the house he rules makes for a well-spoken and intelligent individual who is adept at thinking and making sense of the world around them. Because of this, these natives are prone to be diarists, journalists, or vocal performers, as their words need expression. This can be seen in a writer like Edgar Allan Poe, whose words are still being read over a century after his death. Then we have Erykah Badu and Selena, whose vocal performances enchant any audience they found themselves in front of. Charming and manipulative are ways one could describe a Venetian third houser, as their minds are made for people. This relational thinking works out for the better, as relationships with your siblings and childhood friends are probably quite prominent, for better or worse. This knowledge of people can be seen in both Usher Raymond and Frank Sinatra, as they both use charm and their good looks to woo and inspire all their fans. I know nothing about Finn Wolfhard, but I'm sure he fits in there as well, with he and his co-stars basically growing up together. Mars's placement here makes you rather argumentative, but also quite busy, which makes sense with your solution-oriented thinking. Unfortunately, your argumentative nature may push you toward having conflict with your siblings or to have grown up in turmoil. The latter point can be seen in Miley Cyrus, whose father was a country rock star, and in Jada Pinkett Smith, whose mother suffered through addiction issues when Jada was young. The Princess of Wales and her sister Pippa seemed to get along fine, but the media did pit the two against each other around the royal wedding in 2013. A third house Jupiter would make you feel well networked and very charitable. You were blessed with auspicious surroundings as a child, so you aim to give back via teaching or mentoring. You may participate in exaggerated thinking, as Jupiter has a way of embiggening all he touches. This can be seen in the dishonorable mention, the small mustachioed failed artist from Austria. Dwayne Johnson is a great example of being well networked, as that can be the only way he's gotten as many roles as he has. Finally, there's Robert Wadlow, who is the world's verifiably tallest person. Jupiter makes things bigger, and in medical astrology, the third house rules the lens. Saturn, on the other hand, shrinks one's expression and refines the mind, making you reserved and self-censored. Practical thinking is your MO, and this is a great placement for an administrator or one who runs several systems, someone like Steve Jobs. Then we have Billie Eilish, who often wears baggy clothes to hide her figure, to neuter gross people who ogle at and comment on women's bodies. Finally, I chose Michael B. Jordan, whose interviews have always displayed a distinct knack for saying the perfect thing at the right time in the best way. I'll go through the outer planets a bit quicker. Uranus makes you an eccentric genius when he's in the third house, making you one for unconventional thinking. You're prone to being inventive, whether that's by tinkering, thinking, or collaborating with others. Neptune's placement here makes you spiritual and poetic. I like to think that these poets and songwriters are linked directly to the source, as if they think in metered verse, which is harder to convey in prose. Finally, we have Pluto, who makes you obsessive, but thorough when in your third house. You practice a level of transformative thinking that allows you to tackle extremely difficult circumstances. Unfortunately, this placement indicates that there's a possibility of having a horrendous childhood that is rewarded with the tenacity of mind I mentioned earlier. The third house went by pretty fast, which fits Mercury's whole vibe. If you have a third house stellium, let me know below. You probably already were anyway, knowing you. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, that like button, that bell button. The fourth house video is coming next Thursday, so I'll see you guys then. And as always, be safe out there and much love.